Hey, what's up, everyone? I'm here today to start my Salesforce training journey. To get started, you can just sign up for a Trailhead account. All you gotta really do is just search Salesforce Trailhead to get started. You'll come up with some Google links. The one that I'm going to do is right here called Salesforce Trailhead. You can click on the sponsor one. Pretty sure it'll take you to the same spot. But sometimes it takes, the sponsor stuff takes you to add locations. So just to make sure, I'm going to be going on to the link that's not part of a sponsor ad. All right. If you haven't already done so, I've already created myself an account. It's not hard. You go through the prompts and create an account for yourself. All you need is an email address to get started. I have learned Salesforce in the past, but it's been a while, so I'm just gonna start from scratch. This is a whole brand new account with no badges or any information that has said I've done anything. I'm not gonna do this, so I'm actually just gonna go straight to learn, and I am going to go to this learning guide. Let's just check out a few things. Or maybe we can go to the career path. Let's see. A bunch of ad information. Let's get started and see what comes up right here. Assess yourself, explore career option, create a plan. I don't really want this because I already know what I'm looking for. Let me see what's in trails. Get started with the prompt. Sure, net zero cloud. What is net zero cloud? We'll have to learn that later. Um, I'm not seeing. So what I'm trying to do right now is just go through the administrative training. Usually it has, I mean, for sites like Salesforce, there's areas where they should show you on how to become an administrator. Check out this Trailhead Academy. See what it's all about. Like I said, it's been a while since I've done this, so this is the first time after creating my account that I've actually poked around to try to figure out what's needed. So you see, I have no history, no learning path, nothing set up. Um, hmm. Maybe I do need to uh, go through. I'm just gonna close that window. Let's check out modules. Uh, yeah, so there's quite a bit of stuff. Let's look at admin. With any system, I usually start with admin training because it gives you the best fundamental information for the system. Let's check out Salesforce fundamentals. Looks like this is a training environment. Let's do the career path just to see where I should be starting at. So we bounce around. I'm gonna do the career path just to see what it's all about. And hopefully it'll point me to where I want to go. Alright, so let's assess myself. So this should take about 10 minutes to go through. Quick introduction, career development. I'm quickly reading over this. I'm not really doing a thorough reading. Plan, act, get to know yourself. What motivates you? Next steps. Quiz. Let's try to teach you. Process when you feel. Set yourself. I'm pretty sure the answer is B and C. Career assessment. I mean, if you're gonna take this seriously, you should read through this, understand what motivates you. I've been doing IT for a while. I'm just kind of relearning Salesforce because it's been a while. So I'm keeping with this. And going through the learning section, it's not giving me what I was looking for. And this training has changed over time. Which one elements of career and assessment. A, B, and D. Alright, that's an easy 100 points. Career options, occupational, live, developer overview, administration, technical architect. Alright, if you love long-term solutions, if you love to design robust long-term solutions and have several years developing experience, a developer, visual fine career path rely most on building relationships and giving presentation. Sales manager. Oh, this is probably the architect. Yep. So the points, I don't really care about the points. For my purposes, depending on how long I do this, I may go get the certifications. Create a plan and skill up. Alright. Learn from others. Get yourself to Dreamforce. I've been to one Dreamforce. It was a long time ago. Probably about 10 years ago. Or, yeah, 8 or 10 years ago since I've been to a Dreamforce. They're a lot of fun. Salesforce really does a lot for their convention. I'm not going to watch the video. Find a mentor, grow your resume, get experience. And Salesforce has grown quite a bit since its early years. Like you can make a full career just understanding Salesforce by itself. Important. Provides A and B. How can earn each other's prepare for Salesforce? It provides hands-on practice. It gives you Salesforce superpower. It does demonstrate your expertise on AC. Alright, tackle the next one. Alright, now you're ready. Update your resume. Create your elevator pitch. Polish. I mean, don't go through this like I am. I'm just not that interested. I'm trying to see if it can get me the training that I'm looking for, but it doesn't look like it will. I should take probably 3 minutes. I didn't actually read it, but with a quick Google search, I'll just do pitch pitch. See, 30-second story. I would have been wrong. She's done writing your resume. Free you then tell your resume cover a little specific. So A and C. All right. So all right. Cool. So what they recommend next? So I'm gonna do this Salesforce Platform Basics. This is probably what I was looking for. I think you could have just gone into modules. I'm gonna just open this up into a new one, a new window, so that we can look at it. See, roles. If we pick admin, see, it doesn't come up here. Level beginner. Yeah, it's too much. See, beginner. Prompt fundamentals, no. Probably quickest. Yeah, it doesn't give you what it didn't give me what I'm looking for. Like in order to search with this feature, you kind of have to already know what you're looking for. But if you're new to Salesforce, you need a way to learn the basic stuff. Salesforce fundamentals probably would have been a good part, but then when we went here earlier, it didn't give me anything. I know I'm scrolling through pretty quick, but um, yeah, and this took us to the registration area. All right, but if you were not familiar with Salesforce, probably going through what I did would have been the best approach to find this. This is probably a good starting position. So, let's say approximately 1 hour to go through all of this stuff. And going through this should help you understand the basics of Salesforce. So we'll start with the first module. Should take about 20 minutes. I'm probably going to run through this a lot quicker than an hour because I'm probably not going to read a lot of stuff. Like I said, I've gone through Salesforce training before, and this should go by pretty quick. All right. Learning objective, define, dream house scenario. Alright, so it's just explaining what Salesforce is, and if you guys don't know what Salesforce is, it's a CRM, and CRM stands for Customer Relations Manager or management. It's basically a customer relations management platform system that helps you learn, but it's evolved and grown to be so much more than just that. Um, so here's what you need. To learn about the Salesforce Platform Development Basics module, you need to sell a prospect, so they give you leads and opportunity, help with customers, so cases and communities. All right, work on the go. Salesforce has a mobile application. Collaborate, Slack, chatter communities, market to your audience, marketing cloud. And you use if Salesforce is not a free platform, but there is a developer platform that you can use to learn and train on. And Salesforce training is actually pretty good um, based on what I've seen in the past, but we'll go through and learn to see how good they are now. So they've developed a lot of scenarios. Cloud Kicks looks like it's their fake company. Ursa Mahor Solar. Ursa Major Solar getting cloud consent, GMLT. Alright, so these are like 4 different companies. Michelle, these are characters for those companies. Get to know our teams, database, objects, and app. So you should really read through these if you're not familiar with Salesforce. So an app in Salesforce is basically a collection of, right here, it says right here, a set of objects, field, other functionalities. Um, so it's a collection of objects, field, but the app has a variety of functions and features that are put together inside Salesforce to become an app. It basically creates a module of different areas of Salesforce that makes it easier for you to use. Um, and objects, if you're familiar with databases, they're basically a table that holds information. They're standard. Standard objects are out of the box objects that exist from Salesforce. So Salesforce created those objects. Custom objects are what is created by, people like you and I that become administrators or developers. Record is a record of information based on the object. And the fields are the information that's collected. The fields that we enter information into to collect information so that you have um, data in your CRM. Is an org. Org is just the environment. Basically your organization. Yeah. So this, when I did this back in 2012, 2014, they didn't have this trailhead playground area. What's cool is that because when I first started, you had to create a developer environment just to learn these, and well, those developer environments, they take up resources, and it's free, so you could create as many as you want. But I think what they found out is there's too many developer organizations not being used, so I think they came up, and this is just my opinion, they probably came up with the trailhead playground so that you go through your training and then the playground comes and then it disappears, so it's not taking up resources as people are creating them. And when I refer to resources, these things live on servers uh, on the Salesforce network, and so um, if you are constantly creating free things for people to use, that costs money. And so these playground probably is easier way for Salesforce to control their costs and getting people to get trained up. And it's a genius idea on Salesforce side. Give free training to people so they learn how to use it so they can help people build on their platform, which keeps them on their platform, which makes them more money. So as more people get involved into learning the environment and their CRM, the more money they'll make because they'll evolve and grow and get more companies to buying their products. You know, I wish more software out there that gives out free training because you can have more things. You can have a bigger environment than what you would normally have. All right, to follow along, practice this. Launch your chair playground. Scrolling to the bottom of this page. So we gotta go to the bottom of this page. Launch right here. So my trailhead playground number 1. So we're gonna launch this. Opens up a new window. Close this other tab because we don't really need it. While that's running, it takes a little bit because it does has to be set up. These environment isn't just sitting there waiting for somebody to click on it. It probably creates a new playground every time somebody says, um, "I want a new playground." All right. So let's go back to where we launched it. All right, so launch, find the playground starter from the app launcher, find and select playground starter. All right, so app launcher, click on this. I think we're already there. Yeah, I think I already did that. Playground starter apps. I think we're already there. Like it says we're here, but we're just gonna follow the directions. Yeah, so it brought back the same thing. If you don't see the playground app, copy this patch it, install, check out the app. If you see the playground starter, click install a package tab. Install a package, click on that. Alright, so paste this into the package ID field. This, I don't know, this may be unique to each account that goes through this training. Because they look similar like Salesforce ID, so it might be unique. It might not be. Um, the only reason why I think it's unique is that I don't know. It might not be unique. Well, there could be different package versions. So, well, anyways, I mean, we're just gonna go ahead and do it anyways. So hit install. It's gonna go through. So this is like a simulation of what you would do if you were installing features into Salesforce. Let's see what it says. Select install for all users. So even though we're gonna be the only one doing this, we're gonna install it for all users. I mean, when you do it in an actual real production environment, you want to be specific, and I believe you can change this as you do things so that you can control who is going to get access. You know, if this is something you're testing now, probably for admins only. If it's ready to go for all users, and if you think it's specific to certain people in your group, then you select for specific profiles. But since the direction says install for all users, we'll say install for everybody. And it should, yep, see. So you just follow, click yes, and continue. Alright, so installation completed. Hit done right here. Go back to this, hit done. Now return to the app launcher. So I'm going through this pretty quick as I read this. A lot of this is, if this is your first time doing any kind of training for any system, just follow the directions. You don't really need to understand it yet. Going through the motions of just knowing where to click is going to help you out later down the road. And if you don't understand anything, read, but just go through the motions. You'll eventually get there. It may take, a, you may have to go through a few different training modules before you get used to things, but just go through the motions, follow the instructions. You'll eventually get to the point where you feel comfortable, and a lot of this stuff doesn't feel uncomfortable for you. So we're done with that. Now return to the app launcher and search for the selected Dreamhouse app. So it looks like that's probably what we installed right there. So we're going to look for the Dreamhouse app. And Salesforce has a lot of things everywhere, like information where to look for things. Using the search feature is probably going to be the easiest for you to find things. So we're just going to search Dreamhouse. It'll take us to the app. And if you look right here, it'll change from Playground Starter to probably Dreamhouse. So there we go, Dreamhouse. I don't think we need this anymore. I'm not going to go over this, but this is basically the administrative side of Salesforce, where admins usually live in when they need to customize things. But we don't need this window anymore, so we're going to close this. Here's the Salesforce, the Dreamhouse app. So we're there, click the settings pad, then click import data. So settings, and then import data. Right. So it probably had a feature where you hit this, it'll grab dummy data, drop it into your system. So if we had looked at the information, probably there was no data yet. And the data that you dump in here is probably going to help you out with the training. So that's why we needed to go through that. So you already know you choose Salesforce Planner to develop custom objects. Developing with code is known as no code. Developing without code is known as no code or declarative development. And I really like Salesforce for this feature. Like you could do a lot of things without actually programming code into Salesforce. Um, but there are going to be complex scenario that you're going to eventually run into, and this is probably going to be like, you know, 2 3 years down the road when you get used to using Salesforce before you start getting to those areas. Um, I mean, it could be sooner. Who knows? But Salesforce is really good at developing node code features so that you don't have to learn how to code in order to be an administrator in Salesforce, and you can do quite a bit with Salesforce and customizing it without having to learn how to code. So it does offer programmatic development, but I don't think that's going to be a focus right now. I think their objective is to just teach you how to use Salesforce and navigate around the environment. So from the gear icon, click Setup to launch the setup page. We use setup a lot, so remember this step. All right, so here's the gear icon, and then you hit Setup. So it basically took us back to the window that I closed earlier. I remember when I was a Salesforce administrator all those years ago. I made this my home page once it actually loads. It doesn't actually look like this. Could take a while. There it goes. Yeah. So I just remember I made this my home page because I came here quite a bit, modifying user information, going in, adding new fields or customizing objects, adding new objects. I lived in the setup page when I was working in Salesforce. Alright, so we're there. Click on the Object Manager tab. Object Manager. So here's the object. Here's all the standard object that exists in Salesforce for this training environment. Could be different depending on you, and some of these, depending on your company or whichever company you get hired on, what they subscribe to is what they're given. And you can see all of this is out of the box type of object that comes with the Salesforce environment that you're subscribed to. Go back to this, then click contact. So object manager, they want us to go into contact. We're going to click on contact. In the details panel, click fields and relationship, and then click new. Fields and relationship, and then click new. Looks like it wants us to create a new something. New field. So for this field, click checkbox. So we're going to create a new checkbox. New checkbox. next. What are we gonna call this? All right, the label, I'm gonna call it pre-qualify with a question mark. All right, so field label, field name. Uh, you can read about it, but I'm just gonna quickly explain. A field label is what is displayed when you're looking at the record. A field name is kind of like its database side of naming convention. So, like most special characters are usually not allowed in the field name. Um, so that's why the question mark didn't populate. You can add a description. Um, this you will probably learn. We'll probably learn more about this later on. But for now, just leave everything as is. Like I said, just follow the directions. Do what it says. See, click next. Accept the default security. All right, next. This is the default security. I'm just gonna hit next. And we're probably gonna hit next again and save. Check the checkbox to add new field to all contact page layout. Alright, so make sure this is add to all the layouts, and then we're gonna hit save. Alright, so we just customized our first object. Basically, the customization is to add a checkbox to the contact object. Let's take a look at what we did. So, if we go to Dream House, I'm going to click Contacts. So, so this is our setup page. We'll leave that there. This is our regular page. So, we're going to go to Contacts. So, here, we have Contacts. Right. So, when you get into a contact record, it usually goes to related. So, we usually have to go to Details to see that it's usually at the bottom right here. So pre-qualified, this is the field that we made. So pre-qualified, we added that. All right, so hands-on challenge. All right, what are we doing for hands-on challenge? You're gonna be completing this. Start. If you use Trailhead later on the land, make sure your challenge. All right, what is my challenge? Many home buyer who work with Dream House Realty pre-qualify for home. Brokers need to know how much money their clients can borrow so they can show properties in the right range. Add a loan amount field to the contact so the brokers can record and see this information. To pass this challenges, you will create a new custom field in addition to the one you made earlier in this unit if you were following along. So if you're new to Salesforce and if you didn't follow these steps to create a new field, this is probably going to be difficult. But if you follow along and went through the steps, I mean, you can always go back and reference this to do the following steps. You just kind of have to remember where things are. But if you were following me, we left this so we don't have to go through everything. All right, we're going to go to contact, create field data type currency, call it loan amount, and the field name will be loan amount. All right, and then notice the space and the underscore. So we're going to hit new. This is a data type currency. And then we're going to hit next. We're going to call this loan amount. See how that happens? So if I deleted this and I typed loan amount, right? No space. So with Salesforce, when you hit make spaces, um, you create underscores. And if you retype this, and it won't auto generate this on the bottom. You have to delete the field name in order for it to regenerate. And when I first started with Salesforce, this used to bother me a lot. So I used to delete the underscore, but after a while, um, it becomes a little bit too much because you're trying because when you actually do Salesforce administration later down the road, you're probably going to create a ton of fields and you have to go through these steps in order to create it, depending on how you do it. But if you want to create like a quick object and you barely have 10, 15 uh, fields to create, you don't want to have to delete that every single time. It's just faster to just leave it as is. Since this is a currency, it wants decimal places, we'll just leave it as 0 because the instructions didn't tell us to do anything with that. So the only criteria to pass this is to make sure we create it under the contact object, make sure it's a currency data type, and then the field label area name mimics this information. So we have that information in. We're just gonna hit next, and then you just gotta go through the steps. Next, and then save. All right. Um, So one nice thing about this, so now that we've done it, right? So you get to check the challenge. So the playground should understand that we just added this information in and it's going to go through and check to make sure we did that correctly. All right, cool. So it just went through, finished checking that. We earned 500 points. So that's the first unit in this module. So we're going to tackle the next one. I think that took longer than 20 minutes because I spent quite a bit of time explaining things. High impact, low effort. So, you start seeing how Salesforce works. We learned about objects. We created two fields. We even go to the test. So if you didn't clear that test, go back, figure out what you missed, and try to get it done because you want to understand that because that's the basis, the basic fundamentals of Salesforce. And once you understand that and you're working for somebody and somebody wants you to do something, especially in contacts, a lot of the things are here already. I can't really think of something else that you would need. But if there's any information about a contact in your company that you need to capture, or somebody say, "Hey, can we add this to contacts?" and you just be like, "Yeah, sure." You go through the process, add a field, and so that's when you start learning about all the other data types, and then you add what's needed there. Maybe somebody wants a description. Well, it looks like there's already a description, but Contacts, Salesforce contact set of information is pretty robust already, but there's always room to add more things there. All right, let's go back and continue our training. High impact, low effort. Dun, dun, dun. I'm just gonna quickly browse through this. Other platform, HR, IT can use it. You can use the platform for all of these things. Resources quiz. Oh, this is just a quiz. So Um, read through it if you're not familiar. I'm just browsing through it, and then I'm just gonna answer these questions. When identifying process to bring sales into Salesforce, look for when identifying process to bring into Salesforce. Numerous step. Teams using spreadsheet, documents shared on local directory. All of the above can be brought into Salesforce. 3 use cases for finance on the platform. Help desk pricing. Nope, that's not financing. This is pricing. Probably 3 use cases for finance. Budget management. Maybe all of the above. I don't know. Let's just go with that. Nope. Damn it. So, go with that one. Hey! Alright. Could have got 100, but I didn't. It's okay. We'll go to the next one. The Salesforce architecture, application, platform, Salesforce. Um, it's best if you read through this. I'm not gonna go through it too much. It kind of lays it out. You really gotta read through to really understand Salesforce with how it's set up. What is the cloud? Why trust cloud? Sharing, multi-tenant cloud, metadata. What's this? Forecast visualization, our Salesforce org, and Minecraft. I'm not gonna read through that. That's probably just a cool way of utilizing Salesforce and what its capabilities are. You get the benefit. Well, same course. All of the above. Not available for this one. Metadata is data about data. So metadata, so this, I mean, it could almost be this, data about data. But metadata is, it, it's hard to explain. I wonder if there's a, yeah, I'm sure it did talk about it. Yeah, see, metadata is data about data. Shit, 100 points. I would have been wrong on the first one. Um, but metadata is data about data. It's basically like the like your name, right? The metadata to your name is full name, first name, last name. That's the metadata for a contact. Right. So the data is John Connor. The metadata of that is the full name, the first name, and the last name. That's the metadata. The actual data is John Connor. So it's what it says. Metadata is data about data, if that makes sense. But we'll go on to the next one. 10 minutes, navigate, setup. Set up your new work home. Get cozy. Alright, cool. Looks like there's a challenge here. Oh. Set up your company in Salesforce. Oh, it didn't finish loading. That's why. Alright. Company information page is where you can find, alright, company information page. Information, all of the above. I already kind of know this, that's why I picked this. And if it's wrong, doesn't really matter. To me, anyways. But these are things, like if you go take the Salesforce admin certificate tests, you should know about these things. What are the three main categories in the setup menu? Object management, preferences, group, human, in the setup menu, administration, platform tune settings. Uh, these are just setup. One, two, three. Setup menu, object manager, setup menu, main window. What are the three main categories in the setup menu? Object management, preferences, group. I'm gonna pick C. You need to find what you're looking for in this. The reason why I skip a lot of these stuff is you're gonna relearn these things over again. Like if you don't feel comfortable with Salesforce, I highly recommend reading through all this and learning about it. Um, like I've said, and I'm probably gonna say this multiple times throughout all the videos I make. Like I've learned Salesforce before, and so I'm not gonna spend too much time on these things. And if I don't get 100%, I don't get 100%. I'm not gonna be too bummed about it. And a lot of these things, if I don't know where to look, I can just look it up. And so, like for me, these things aren't important. And as you get more comfortable with Salesforce, you're just gonna know where to look for things when you need to do things. When you need to create a new field, right? Like, you saw I went in this area to set up a new object pretty quickly because I kind of already know where things are. And so you'll eventually get to that point, but if you're not comfortable, I do highly suggest reading through these and get familiar with it. If not, it's fine. Just continue with all the training. It'll eventually become more familiar as you use this. What you're looking for in the setup menu. First view of what you're looking for in the quick find box. That is the quickest way. Um, uh, it has evolved into a lot of stuff. So like you can't. There's just too many things everywhere. You're not gonna know where everything is. Like look at all of this stuff. It just grows, and so this right here, this quick find is gonna be your friend. Um, and as you type, it just find things for you. And then the more you type, the more narrow your search is gonna be. So this is gonna be the best way to look for anything inside the setup. This quick find refers to this. This also does too, but it's a different search feature and is not as fast as this one because this quick find is specific to all the menu options here. This is like everything. So you may get a whole bunch of other things. And you're just not looking for your menu option. So let's see if I got it right. 100 points. All right, cool. Take the next one. What is the App Exchange? App Exchange is a marketplace for Salesforce um, add-on module software type of things. It's basically an area where developers or companies create different apps or application for people to use. Some of them is free, most of them are paid for. So you have big companies, small company. A lot of people just put their free stuff on there. May not be great for the free stuff, but it may be useful. Um, but it's been a long time since I said it. Work with Salesforce could be different, but a lot of it you're gonna have to pay for it, and so it's really just a marketplace. It's like the iPhone App Store. Uh, when you're getting started, uh, yeah, request the top three apps from each department. I'm gonna pick this one. This is probably gonna. You don't want to just install any app that you think is interesting. It takes a lot of time, planning, and effort, especially if you're in a company that already has a environment that's running. You don't want to just throw apps into it. It makes things more difficult, and if you don't end up using it, it's a lot of garbage information that just exists in your system. And if you play with it, like in Salesforce, when you use, it's very hard to delete data once you start entering information into different areas. So do plan for this, and only install apps that you are really going to use. Don't install it just because somebody recommended that it was a great idea. Like if they, a lot of consultants will just be like, well, we see other companies. Like I see this a lot. A lot is, consultants will go into different companies to help them out, and be like, well, I see other companies use this. Do you want to try it out? It's free, and then people will go, yeah, sure, right? Because they say it's free, they'll say yes. But then it gets installed, nobody learns how to use it. The consultant doesn't have time because you're asking them to do other things. And so they just kind of leave it to you. Eventually, somebody will learn how to use it, or other people, they hire other people into the company, and then they start looking into this and the free stuff, and they're like, why do we have this? And then everybody like, well, the consultant said that it was free, and we asked about something I can't recall. Now we just have it, and then now you're just stuck with those data, right? So those applications take up space and data space inside your environment, and depending on what level you are at, you don't want to just install anything. Plan for it, and just don't get it if they say it's free. When you want to find an app and install, what should you do to clean the fireballs? Install apps. Uh, this one or that one would work. Um, I'm gonna go with that. Nope. This one. Nope. Dang it. Install packages. Yes. Alright, cool. Quick look. I don't want any of those. Salesforce Customer 360, quick look. Alright. I'm not gonna go with any of those. So that was a quick look at everything. View more modules. We're gonna try to find something in admin. Validation rule is good, but to give us the most points. You get beginner and intermediate. Pricing methods, product rules, configure bundles, pricing rules, lightning experience. This one will probably be a good next one. When I was learning Salesforce, they didn't have the lightning experience or the lightning feature. We're gonna go through other things. I'll click on that for now. See where it goes. We probably don't need these training platform anymore. Create and customize Lightning apps. List view. Right. Yeah, this would be a good one. But I'm gonna do something else. Data and action flows on the launch. This would be like a good third or fourth module to learn. Just add that to my favorites. This one too. This would be like a good third or fourth one to learn. Trigger. Add that too. See, custom metadata types basic permission sets group. If you, I don't think you need to learn permission set groups unless you're setting up a new Salesforce environment or you get a lot of questions from people that can't get access to certain things. And then this would be a good one to get into. But if you're just starting out, I would say, well, I'm gonna just add it to my favorites. Let me just go through all of these and see how I would go through this. Lifecycle mat. Ceramic Lightnings for Maturation Cloud. That's only if you have that module. Highlights. Product quotes and contract. This would be a good one. This product quotes and contract. There's no real administration. I don't think, based on just what I see, is basically learning how to use the standard stuff that exists in Salesforce. That's why it's only like 35 minutes. There's not a lot of learning. Like you're not creating anything. You're adding records and information to set things up. Um, but it'll be good practice to go through so you learn how to use the Salesforce environment. Basics. Look how. Yeah, this would go with the same thing as the other one. Oh, uh, the permissions one. Where was it? Yeah, this would be good. This would go well with the permissions one. Oh, I would do this um at the end when you finish all your what is it called, credentials or Salesforce credentials. Flow builder basics, app exchange solution. So then season based sets and security. I think this might be just be a repeat. Uh, let's look at credentials. Maybe they'll show you how to go through the path. Yeah. Yeah, so with Salesforce, see how there's different types of credentials. So like I would start as like if I was going down the IT path, I would start as the administrator and then I would do developer and then architect. Um, that would be my choice. Uh, or I mean, it might be good to go with as an architect before you become a developer. But we'll start off with administrator. I mean, we can always learn about that stuff later on. Click on this, see what if it recommends anything. Study and prepare. Yeah, see, this is what I was looking for. Prepare your Salesforce Administrator credential trail mix. Salesforce trial study for the exam and indirect practice test. Yeah, classes and workshop. Oh yeah. One thing about Salesforce admin credentials is that I don't know if it's still the same, but every 2 years you have to retake like maintenance, like you have to retake the exam, but it's not, I don't know if it's a full exam because they can change all the time, and if you don't stay up to date you'll fall behind with Salesforce real fast. um trying to see details, but it's taking quite a bit of time, and I was hoping to go through another module, but I kind of went around it another different way. So my the purpose of my videos isn't to guide you on how to become a Salesforce admin. It's just recording how I am approaching it. Um, and I'm really doing this just to see how far I can go. I may try to take the Salesforce Administrator certification. I may not. Uh, but I really want to get back into Salesforce. I really enjoy working in the Salesforce environment, and I think that my plan is to look at the community, see who needs help, and try to help them out, and record how I approach trying to resolve their problem. And I was trying to do that, but it's been so long that a lot of terminologies and things that people are asking help with, I'm not very familiar with it. And so I'm going through the training to try to figure it out. So 59 hours. So this is probably where when I start with. Uh, so 59 hours sounds a lot, but if you uh, do see, yeah, this is what I wanted. It gives you a really detailed modules that you should be learning in order to understand how to manage, become a Salesforce administrator, right? Uh, we're probably not going to do this. It's 34,000 points total. I've already completed this one. It didn't give me any percentage, so that means I still got quite a bit of this to go. All right. Follow. Let's follow this. At least we know how to get back here. All right. So prepare your Salesforce org for users. See, it's 500 points, so it may not be a lot. 15 minutes. Uh, I've already been doing this for like over an hour now. Let's just go ahead and get on with this. You can always pause, come back, rewatch this video. We'll go ahead and go through with this second training. It's gonna flow the same way I did earlier. I'll probably skip a bunch of stuff, but we'll probably I'll point things out as I see them. Uh, Set up exchange rates. All right. Introduction. All right. We probably need a launch. Yeah, launch. Yeah. So same playground. You see, it was created October 4th, which is today. So we're using the same playground. All right. Um, yeah, I don't really read a lot of these stuff, so I'll just go straight into it. Gear icon, select setup. We're in the setup. Enter company information in the quick find. Company information. We're in the company information. Click edit and ensure locale is set to English. Edit. Locale English. All right. If you're doing this in another country, um, I don't know if they have it for different. I mean, I would assume so. Uh, but I am in the United States, so I'm setting it to English United States, and we'll continue with this. Within currency settings, select activate multiple currency box. Activate multiple currency. That box is checked. Hit save. Alright, so we're going to hit save on this. And then from this page, it's saying that we're going to need to hit currency setup. And now that we're hit currency setup, we're going to hit new. New currency. Currency type, euro, conversion rate 1.2, decimal places, or 1.5, decimal places 2. So, euro, I'm sure you could type it. Yeah, euro, currency 1.5. Um, yeah, this is probably manual. I'm sure there's a way to automate this, but since we're only training, we'll just enter it as they recommend. Because you don't want to, if you are operating a multi-currency environment, you don't want to have to come in here like daily or whenever you process information and change the conversion rate. I mean, that just doesn't make sense. You need like that's why we're going through this. We'll eventually learn how to do something like that, but I don't know if this is gonna take us there. So we saved it. Yeah, we saved it already. Click App Launcher and select Sales. So App Launcher, Sales. I wonder if we're in the right sales. Yeah, there's only one sales. Dismiss. We're not gonna read this. All right. Opportunities, new, and then new. So we're gonna go to opportunities. You can go in here or hit this because we're gonna create a new opportunity. It's all the same. So you hit this new opportunity. Go in here. I mean, the direction says go in here and then hit new. Alright, so Euro currency test. Normally, if I'm doing this without explanation, I would have two windows. Oh, different windows open on two different monitors. So that way, I'm just going back and forth, and I'm not going back and forth with the tab. Or maybe I can do this, depending on how it looks. Alright, this isn't too bad. And what I just did is, if you're not familiar with Windows, and I'm on a Windows 11 operating system, um, and if you're not familiar with Windows, basically on your keyboard, there's a Windows icon that looks just like this Start menu button. If you click on that and the left or right arrow key on your keyboard, you can basically move the window around. And so in something like this where you have to go back and forth I recommend doing this if you have a really big monitor. My monitor is like 20-inch. It's an old monitor, but this has enough space where thing, the windows are scrunched up where it's hard to read. All right, so opportunity name, uh, test account name, search for the account, United Oil, Gas UK. You see how it's tabbing from left to right? Like if I were the one designing this, I'd probably go up and down. And I think you can modify that, but we'll probably learn that later on. Opportunity currency, Euro, cool. Stage, close on one. Well, that's fast. And then amount 10,000. Oh, this is like not in order at all from the directions. It just, yeah, it makes you go all over the place. Like, it's not very efficient. Like, I wanted to just tap through everything, and because you want to think about that as when you're adminning a Salesforce environment. Like, you don't want the user to have to click here, click there, right? Because if you're tapping through this, see how it highlights different areas as you're tapping through. You want to think about the user experience, what they are going to be typing first, and how it should flow. Maybe that's how it should normally flow. It's been a while since I've done this, but based on this example, I had to go kind of all over the place. We're gonna hit save. Oh, close date. It didn't even put in a close date. We'll just put today. Alright. And so like this test environment works just like a real Salesforce environment. So if there's a required field, it makes you click it. Since and you'll probably run into this throughout training. Like it forgets to tell you. Oh no, it didn't. Right. End of current month. End of current month. It doesn't really matter, but we'll just follow the directions. Hit save. Alright, opportunity was created. Update the exchange rate. Okay, so it wants us to update the exchange rate. So you look at this activity log, look at the details. This is the information that we just entered. Look at that. It did a conversion. 10,000 in euros, and then it's 6,600 in US dollars. So now they want us to change it. So we're going to go back to here, manage currencies. So select setup, enter, just say manage currency, make sure. What? Manage currency. Uh, did I miss something? So I see an icon right here that says enable advanced currency management. So advanced currency management is not enabled. Allow you to manage data exchange rate that matter. For more information. So I mean, it might have one, right? Like, so this is like some of the challenges I see with training guides. Like they try to make it step by step, but then sometimes it doesn't give you everything. Test exchange rate on a new operation, right? So like it didn't give us directions to do that. And so now it says gear icon, select setup. We're already in setup. I didn't really need to go out there, but then it says manage type in manage current. If manage current does not appear, enter current and click current setup. Click edit rates. Oh, so if it doesn't show up, I guess I just had to keep reading. Uh, company information. Currency setup. Um, and then edit. We're going to change this to what? Edit rates. Oh, one. Yes, I'm sometimes go ahead too far of myself, so we live and learn. Alright, so that's changed. Hit save. Click on choosing tabs. And then find the opportunity. So we don't have to do all of that. We're already in here. I'm just gonna hit refresh. Um, and the reason why you hit refresh, because if it's gonna do what I think it's gonna do, then this should be 10,000, and then USD should be at 10,000 also. And then when you hit refresh, the system automatically goes into the settings and does that calculation. It should have been built in. Or it might not do that. Because depending on the setting system, it might be set up. And we may have to manually go change it. So let's see what happens. All right, we're gonna have to go back to details. And it's loading. All right, there you go. Yep. So it did what I thought it would do. Basically, because we changed the rate in the background, it automatically detected the new rates and did a calculation in the background to make the two currency value match now. All right, cool. We've added verify. You'll be completing this project on your own. Click launch to get started. All right. I think we just had to go through all of that to verify. So, and if it's wrong, we'll just figure out why it didn't work. All right, cool. We did it. All right, next module. Update the exchange rate. Is this? Yeah, this is the same thing. So, exchange rate, advanced currency, enter, no, if man not, impair, setup, enable advanced currency if not enable. Oh, yeah, see? It should have just done that earlier. So here what it's saying is, right, if managed currency does not appear, then you want to enable this. Hit enable. So we're enabling it. This should change to disable. Yeah. So refresh. All right, cool. Now we can search for manage currency. What? not doing it. Sometimes systems need to refresh. Yes, I want to. You may need to open a new tab and a new tab will open in Classic. Alright, maybe it's a new tab thing. Alright, let's just go back. Alright, yeah, you just need to close the old tab and open up a new one. And it takes us to the same spot. Alright, click Manage Day Exchange Rate. Manage Day Exchange Rate. I'm just gonna hit this, do not show again. This only shows, if you don't want if you don't want this page to always show up, you want to check this box. Otherwise, it will always show up. And it just basically explains what this settings purposes is. So you can read it. I'm just gonna check the box, hit continue. And click new exchange rate. New exchange rate. Start date. Ooh, start day. First day of next month. And then we're gonna go 1.13. Save. Oh, that's a nice feature. So basically, what it says is that this current exchange rate is going to be 101, but and the next month is going to change to 1.13 based on what this says. All right. So now it wants us to change this. So we're going to go back. We're going to go back into, so because we have this window open, we don't have to go through a lot of these steps. Hit edit, change the close day to the first day of the next month. All right. So you can hit edit or just double click in the field. It's way easier. So it does change. So like, look, if we change this back to the end of the month, see how the currency rate differs because you're changing the currency rate in the setting, and so it's scheduled to change, and so Salesforce automatically knows that if this is going to close the following month, this is what your local currency is actually going to be if you're doing international sales in Europe. All right, so we've done all that. Verify. Yeah, this always takes a little bit. All right, cool. We got it. Customizing the home page. Right. So you see, like, as we do this, right, we're just following the steps. We're not really paying attention how things work. But I hope that you're starting to get a feel for this. And, a lot of these things are very repetitive, right? You're doing the same thing over and over. It's really getting you to understand it, right? Like, it told you to hit edit. Yeah, if you hit edit, you get the same thing. Like, you get a pop up, you edit, you do all of these things, but I mean, Salesforce make things very intuitive, so just double click here. You get the same thing. There's no difference in the window. It's just preference really on what you want to do. But you can see like we're doing the same things over and over. It doesn't really change, and so you'll start to see that as you follow the instructions, you start to learn how to navigate and understand Salesforce. All right, create new homepage using Lightning App Builder. From the setup, enter Lightning App. So we already have a window for that. Lightning App Builder. And then we're just gonna hit new because it says hit new right here. Select home page and then next. See how it makes things easier to train when you just look at two different windows. Next label, we're gonna call support. Home page. And hit next. Standard home page. Done. Alright, cool. Display the 5 most recent cases. So drag the recent item component into any spot on the canvas. I'm not gonna read all of that. Wonder if close that too. This might be something you want a full window on, so it's just a little bit easier to read. See how it's a little easier to read versus it looking like this. But we're just gonna leave like this for now. So recent cases for label. So drag the recent item in any spot. All right. For label, enter recent cases. All right, label recent cases, and then click select. Click select. Oh, select. And if you remove that, and then we're gonna find case. And then we're just case. Move that over. Okay. For number of records, we're gonna hit 5 because that's what it says. Show chat a post where the support rep is mentioned. What? Oh. So our next component is drag the chatter feed. Drag the chatter feed. And click on that. And then for feed type, select to me. Feed type to me. Alright. And then drag today's tasks into another one. Into a new spot. And then drag today's events. Let's add it to the same thing. Drag rich tag component into today's task box. And drag rich text component into today's task box. Rich text. Text will appear below, and be sure to check Salesforce Trust site. Now we're going to highlight this, hit the link icon right here, link, and then we're going to type the URL https trust.salesforce.com. It is a nice feature to have. People will probably use it to just put a message out there or a link to an external website or to your own intranet for your company. It's a nice feature to have. All right, and then we're just gonna save this. Yeah. And then say activate, because it says activate, and then click app and profile. Where does it say that? All right, app and profile. All right, cool. Assign to app and profile. Service console, and then click next, and then custom support profile and system administrator. All right, cool. So we added this to the service console app and also added it to these profiles. So these profiles will probably be the only ones that be able to see it. This is where the nice thing about Salesforce is they give you a lot of flexibility and control on how you want things to display. So even if you create things, unless you add it to somebody's profile, nobody's going to be able to see it other than the administrator because they have to go in to make modifications to it. All right, click next, save, and then click the back and leave the Lightning app. So back button, leave this, and all right, and then we verify. So I mean, if you want to see it, all we gotta go through is let's go to. Oh, sometimes I forget how slow this could be. And it could just be the training environment or my computer that's causing it to go slow. So let's go to service, home. Yeah, see, look, service, it's there. And no, this is not it. Mm, It's like service console. That's where it is. Service console, home. Yep. So here it is. Be sure this is the what I created. It doesn't mean anything because there's no data to my calendar or anything. And this is the console, which probably is a little different from the service app itself. But we did it. We found it. We're gonna verify it. Cool, 100 points. All right, create a unique account list view. And launcher, go to sales, click on the accounts tab, click the list view icon settings. So don't mistake this setting for the top setting. We're going to click on that, select new, and we're going to say energy and biotech accounts. Don't worry about this yet. All users can see this and then finish. Um, all right, edit the list filters. Edit the list filters. All right, right here. Filter, right click filter icon. So if you didn't see this, you click on this and then it pops up. Filter all accounts. So we don't just want my accounts, we want all accounts. And then click done. There's no done. Oh, done. All accounts done. Uh, Sometimes I don't read those. Um, when you admin a lot of software and systems, things kind of come naturally, and so you don't really think about it. This actually slows me down. Um, we're gonna add a filter, and then we're gonna say industry. All right, cool industry. So what I did there is I just typed the first letter that it begins with, so it kind of is a shortcut. So I typed I, it jumped to I, and then I selected it. And then value, we're gonna pick biotechnology. And is there a checkbox? I don't see a checkbox, but there might be a checkbox. Energy. All right, cool. We're done with that. Two values. Done. Save. Choose fields to display. Click the arrow icon and select fields to display. Alright. Choose industry from available field. So we're going to have industry, add, and then hit save. And then we're going to hide the filter. And then here it is, the industry. So if you go back to select fields to display, you can move this around by clicking the up and down arrows. So it move things. You can't drag it. You have to use the arrows, and you can only do one at a time. I think. Nope, you can highlight. Oh, that's neat. Uh, but you hit save, and it just modify changes the way things look. All right, cool. Save high filters, and then verify. So this right here teaches you quickly how to modify the views. There's multiple different views that you can look at. Uh, list view. Go back to accounts. Right. Oh, right here. Yeah. So see all these different views. And this is the one that we created. So you click on this arrow, you can look at other views. And these views are like a quick way, a shortcut report on how to look at records in an object. And it's just really easy to look at things. Um, and you'll probably learn more about this. And I'm not really sure. Every time I say that, I'm not really sure if you're actually going to learn it, but I just know of it. And so I just want to point it out is that you can hide this view from other people so that only you can see it. Um, right, because when we created this one, and see sharing settings, right? We picked all users, but if you click only I can see it, nobody else can see it. Or you pick share with a certain group of users that only them and you can see it. But if you choose only I, then it's only prevent to you because not everything needs to be shared across the entire organization because it does clutter this. This can become a very big list of views, and so that can create uh, complexities in an organization. Uh, Especially if everybody keeps creating one for other people to be able to see. And if you get, it creates confusion mostly for new hires because when they get hired and they go, oh, I wonder if there's a view for this, and then everybody just constantly create new views. And now you may have like a list of 30, 40 views that nobody uses. So, um, really think about the kind of views that you want to see and what other people may want to see, um, and create ones that if you think it's only going to be you looking at it, just create it for yourself. Is my recommendation. All right, I think there's one more module, and then we'll end it for the day. Chatter group. All right. App launcher, and we're gonna say groups. Groups. Click new. All sales collaboration. Try to enter descriptions for everything when you're working in a production environment. Um, because you want to be able to explain things to people, especially if you're an admin. Not everybody's gonna understand what you're creating, and sometimes it is hard to describe because the name in itself is already kind of the description of what it is, but not everybody thinks the same way you do. So you want to be detailed in your description so that other people understand what you're creating. And if this goes down, and it's really from my background from learning IT and programming. You want to document and describe what you're doing so that the person behind you that comes in and try to learn and figure out what you did, understand what you're doing. Uh, oh, there was more. I did not know that. Uh, owner access type. Oh, public. Save index. Upload a GIF. Skip that. Skip adding members. All right. Share and update. Type. And we don't even have to type. We could just copy this. Click share. So this is like a chatter groups are like social media groups for Salesforce. It can come in handy. Just think about it like a social media platform for your own internal organization inside Salesforce to for communication purposes. Um, some organizations use it really well, some don't. If you're especially if you're in a smaller company, it doesn't get used very often. But when you're in a larger organization, sometimes it's hard to get a hold of people who dropping messages in these chatter groups, and you'll see it all over Salesforce. It's a nice way to just let people know what you've done or hey, it's ready for you for the next steps. Looks like we're gonna keep creating more groups. Um, all right, groups. Um, group all support. This is gonna copy and paste. Feel free to type it if you want to. This one's gonna be private. And then save and next. Next, done. And we're gonna post another message. Copy and paste. All right. So we could have gone through the same thing, type groups earlier, but I saw this tab groups as I was doing it, so that's why I just clicked on this and hit new groups. But we can do this as well. It's just different ways getting to the same thing. And then you see there's two groups now. Post a link to the all support group. Explain how to use app memories. All right. All support. There's nobody here because it's private too. In this app mention right here, if if there's only one user, so it's just me. So if I type myself, it mentions me. So you could do at so that it either alerts, depending on how you set up your environment, it'll alert, notify them email them that, hey, you got a message. Um, Click enter to move the cursor to the next line. Oh, we were not done with that. So we're just going to go back and edit. Technically, we shouldn't have to edit because uh, we needed to insert something. Add a link. So we're going to add. I'm just making sure that turns into an actual link. Um, I don't know if it actually says that, but I'm doing it. All right, so now that becomes a link, and that's it. Now we're going to verify. All right, I'm done with this. All right, let's close out of this. We don't need this stuff on the right anymore. Let's see. Profile. Let's look at my profile. All right, I got 3 badges, 1,600 points, 0 trails, 1 skill. Cool. General. I got a general skill, 3 badges, nothing else. All right. I added myself to 16 different community groups. Um, let's go to the trailhead, see what we got. So I just want to look around my profile, see what's in there and what's next. All right. Looks like that's trail. Prepare yourself. All right, this one. See how other things populate as you do things? A lot of these trail have the same type of training. So it doesn't really matter where you begin at. You're going to cross the same training. Um, Eventually, once you get more advanced into the training, then going to start to become very specific. But the main one that I'm going to be focusing on is this. Prepare yourself for Salesforce Administrator credentials. All right, so we've completed 2% out of 100. Still got a lot more modules to go, so there's about 54 hours left. Um, Technically, I finished about 2 hours today on this. So we're just gonna keep trucking through this until I get towards the end, and then we'll see if I feel like taking the certification test or not. So we'll see. Um, all right. Well, thank you guys for following along. If you've lasted this long, if not, cool. Let me know if you guys have any questions. Put it down in the comments. I know I went through the two training pretty quickly, and I didn't really read through anything. But if you have questions, you get stuck, let me know. And there's a whole community support also. Like you can join group, go into the support and ask questions there about the training as well. So if you can't get a hold of me, I'm not responding. In the comment section, use this community also. But sometimes you just gotta reread the question as you've seen. There's a few steps I missed because I didn't fully read the questions, but eventually got through it. So if you like what you see, follow along, and we'll continue down this journey and see where it goes. Like I said, my goal is to eventually be able to help the community users, and maybe become a consultant or something. All right. So see you guys in the next one. Thanks. Bye.